Hey YouTube. So this is a first for me, but I feel like it needs to be said. If this video helps just one person, I feel that I have done my job. But before I get started, of course, I do have to preface this, of course, by saying, this is not financial advice, of course, but you need some Bitcoin, even if it's just a little. You are taking more of a risk by not owning it than you are by owning it at least some. Bitcoin has rose just 40% in just October. Experts even predict a new record. As y'all can tell, I'm sure you know at the grocery store, inflation is ridiculous. It's getting out of control. And with central banks printing more money and the purchasing power of the US dollar diminishing, you would be a fool not to own at least 0.01 Bitcoin, which is roughly about $350 as this video is being made, November 5th, 2023. Why I say that amount, well, Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve are going to turn the money printers back on here soon, sometime within 2024, if not at the very end, maybe the early of 2025 at the latest. Going into an election year, they are going to turn the printers back on, and risk on assets are going to soar. Bitcoin is still considered a risk on asset. The Fed has already paused and are likely done hiking interest rates. The markets are loving this. They've risen more and more after the Federal Reserve has paused their rates. Everybody pretty much knows at this point they've pretty much paused now and are going to stop. The S&P is rocketing back up. As you can see, we're going to continue this this little Nike swoosh recovery going here. It's just gonna continue to do what we did after COVID here. So we're gonna keep going up here, guys. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna turn the printers back on, and we're gonna keep going. I mean, that's what J Powell is here for. He's gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep printing it. That's what they do. That's what they love. They love asset inflation. That's what makes them richer, and that's what makes everybody else poor, the working class poor. And if you save in the U.S. fiat, you are saving in an ice cube that is simply just melting away. But not only that, not only the printers are coming back on soon, but there are two other major catalysts that will send Bitcoin into potentially one of the largest bull runs, I believe, yet. The halving is coming up in 2024. And, of course, the BlackRock ETF approval and other ETF approvals, of course, as well. With Bitcoin's halving months away, it's time to go risk on. Robert Kiyosaki has predicted that Bitcoin's price is going to reach $100,000. Michael Saylor is aiming for something closer to $1 million. Is it a good time to start buying? Maybe so. And something we're going to cover here in a second might show Michael Saylor's prediction might be a little closer to what we should expect here. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF added to the eligibility file, says the clearinghouse DTCC. This was October 24th, 12 days ago. So we even got BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF now listed on the DTCC. It is a IBTC, I believe. One big question. With all of this combined, how much will one Bitcoin be worth after the BlackRock ETF approval? With this trifecta kind of occurring, I think we may see one of the biggest bull runs as of yet. And just to tell you, exactly what one Bitcoin could be worth, the possibilities are honestly potentially endless, and that's a topic for another video. But really what this video is about is just want you to be aware that you must do whatever you can to get off of zero. You must have some Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was divided between every person on earth, each person would get roughly 0.0027 Bitcoin, which is roughly about $95 now. Which means each $100 you put in today could potentially be worth $2,700 or more by 2026 in today's dollars, according to Fidelity and the stock-to-flow model for Bitcoin. Each $100 you put in. Now you're asking me, hey, what are you talking about? What does that mean? That means like $1 million Bitcoin. What are you talking about? Fidelity stock to flow model. Well, if you haven't seen this before, the Fidelity Digital Assets of June 2022, valuing Bitcoin, modeling the price of Bitcoin as a monetary asset through market forces. On page 4, if you come here to the supply side valuation, they do notate the stock to flow model, which we'll touch on here in a second. But one thing I did want to highlight is in Bitcoin, again, we do know the existing and future supply curve is predetermined and knowable. This is the only asset in human history that has a predetermined and knowable supply. We know there's 21 million, and that is all that can ever be created. And we have halvenings that occur every 4 years. That's what you're seeing here at these little bumps. These are halvenings that occur. Now, as you can see, it hasn't been following it exactly. It's been following it close to 90 to 95%, but not exactly. But as you can see, we're following it pretty close. And what do you see here by 2025, 2026? You see $1 million Bitcoin, close to it. If you come over here to the stock to flow model, even a little closer here, this shows all the way back to Bitcoin's inception, or at least when it had, value listed. This is up to date to today. And as you can see, we can see here down at 2026, we have a potential price of Bitcoin to be $1.2 million. As you can see here, it's kind of overshot the stock to flow sometimes, undershot it here recently, which you could argue potentially, due to the SBF, the FTX fallout, the banking collapse, everything that has happened, recently, could have been the reason we didn't break $100,000. But even if we don't get close to it, $800,000, we could even overshoot it as we did in these previous bull runs, which is very possible. We could have an insane bull run that sends us above $1 million here by 2026. So if you don't own any Bitcoin, either get on or get run over. And honestly, this video is your warning. Please do not get left behind. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you next time.